Good, yeah.
Okay.
Because as soon as she went into contractions, I had to do the application.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
I like that. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, especially all the mothers in my life, and especially my wife, Millie. Happy birthday.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Happy Mother's Day,
birthday,
Andrea. Love you.
Is it your wife's birthday as well?
No, it's not. It's a happy Mother's Day.
We're off to a swimming start here on Game Time Live. It's early for us here, 2:30 Eastern. You know,
my guy Cornfed must put something in his water.
Yeah, what do you got in there? You better go out and get Millie another present.
I'll be here.
Maybe that is the present. Guys, what is the mentality here for Game 7? Is it different, or can you accept this, Karan, as just another game?
No, I don't think you can accept it as another game, and I think that you have to have your antennas up and your radars up at a whole nother level, and I think the preparation for a Game 7 obviously starts in film and the walkthrough, and you have to understand the sense of urgency has to be heightened, especially if you're the team that's playing on the road. And then the home team obviously have that added pressure also, but I would always go in there just saying, look, I'm going to win my matchup, and I'm going to go out there and be the best possible version of myself.
Yeah, and it comes down to you do your film work, and it's pressure on both teams. I think the one thing is it's going to come down to defending, and I always look at the team that can get to that free throw line. I love to see the team in Game 7s have more free throw attempts. Turnovers are huge, especially for the road team. You don't want to get the crowd into it. I know, Karan, you've probably been to some Game 7s on the road. If you can quiet that crowd, it just seems like you can start to see the players starting to feel the energy or not the energy from their crowd at home, and that's what you try to do.
Later tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern, Game 7 in Toronto between the Raptors and Sixers. We'll talk that game a little later on. The first game today, coming up in just about 1 hour from right now, it's the Blazers and the Nuggets. And listen, if you want to put stock and credence into these all-time records in Game 7s for these teams, you can do it. But only the Nuggets and their players have played in one Game 7. The Blazers, this group, they've never played in any. So if you want to make a big deal out of the 1 and 2 all-time, go ahead. Have fun with that one. But the bottom line is it's a great opportunity for Portland to get to the Western Conference Finals for the first time since 2000 and the first time for the Nuggets since 2009 with Carmelo Anthony. Let's take you out to the Pepsi Center in the Mile High City. Man who has been out on the road for weeks and months. It is players only, baby. Dennis Scott. 3D, thanks for joining us here. Let's begin with this. Which team between Portland and Denver do you feel is built best for this particular Game 7?
I have to go with the home team, Jared. And the reason why, talking to Coach Michael Malone, all season long, this team has faced adversity with injuries, guys being in and out of the lineup. You know, Will Barton, who gave up his starting lineup because Coach Michael Malone said it was the best thing for the team. You're watching that guy right there, the Joker. Watching him up close, guys, really, really lets you know this young man is a student of the game. Yes, you talk about his speed. Yes, you talk about how fast he plays the game. Well, he plays at his own pace. So watching this team up close, I think, to answer your question, Jared, they're fit for this. I think they're a little deeper. Their bench plays better at home. So right now, today, with the hour for jump ball, I like the home team.
Well, we can talk about the depth and the versatility of these lineups as much as we want, but everybody knows it comes down to the best players. Superstars tend to make the biggest difference in these games. So 3D, talk more here about Jokic. We've seen his ability to be a playmaker, but does he have to come out and be more aggressive, trying to score the basketball and take charge of this game early on?
Jared, I think he finally realizes that being aggressive and looking for his shot is not being selfish. It's really setting the defense up to put more pressure on him and for Coach Stotts to win to try to double team him. Because all playoffs long and all series long, whenever you double team the Joker, either the high post or the low post, he picks you apart on the weak side of the floor, finding those shooters. And that's one good thing about the Nuggets. They always have at least 3 or 4 shooters on the floor at all times.
3D, Karan Butler here. What has to happen for the Portland Trail Blazers to come out and get a quality win here in this Game 7?
It's real simple, Tough Juice. After talking to C.J. McCollum and Dame, both of those guys have to set the tone from the beginning of the ball game. Not be feely, not share the ball. No, be the all-stars, be the superstars we know those guys could be as the backcourt and go out there and attack that defense and make the Nuggets feel like they have to slow them down. You go back to games 1 and 2, both guys were able to turn the corner and either get all the way to the rim or CJ was able to get to his mid-range game and really get going. So those two guys have to set the tone. And, of course, Rodney Hood off the bench has played very well throughout this whole series.
You know, 3D, you had the obvious, the best players, and obviously Rodney Hood, and also Paul Millsap is kind of the third options. The X factors for me, which I'm gonna say on Denver side is Gary Harris, and on Portland side is Zach Collins. Who has the advantage in those two matchups?
Right now, I have to go with your Smarty guy, Gary Harris, because what Gary Harris has shown us, Smitty, throughout the whole playoffs, he sets the tone defensively along, obviously, when they put Torrey Craig into the starting lineup to help out. But Gary Harris has been that guy all playoffs long. Even go back to the Spurs series, playing solid defense on DeMar DeRozan, really sacrificing his game. And then next thing you know, it's a big three-point shot, the reverse layup with all the hang time that everyone's talking about on social media. So Gary Harris has to be able to knock down those open threes that he's shown us all playoffs long, like I talked about, having multiple guys on the floor that knock down open shots.
3D, there's a story today in the Denver Post that for the first time in a real long time, Denver Nuggets gear, merchandise, is outselling Denver Broncos gear. Can you give us a sense of the vibe in that city and what the building is going to be like tonight?
It should be crazy, Jay. As you know, the hockey team was just playing here in the playoffs, and everyone's going crazy. But the Joker, Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, I think this young core is really showing the basketball world, let alone the local media and local fans, that they're for real. And that guy walking right there, Paul Millsap, I'm calling him the silent assassin from a leadership standpoint, because he goes in the locker room. He's not a rah-rah guy, tough juice, and Smitty, you know that. But his matchup has been very key throughout the playoffs on when to go through him, when to put him on the block. So right now, Nuggets fans are excited of what they're doing, how they're doing, and they're happy Game 7 is here in this building, the Pepsi Center, versus being at the Motor Center in Portland.
Should be a fun one today. 3D, enjoy the game. Maybe we'll speak with you following today's Game 7.
And guys, happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful mothers out there in America.
Great work, 3D. 3D covering the Nuggets and the Blazers, Game 7. We'll talk more about that series coming up in a bit.
Man, 3D clean.
Real clean.
Stay clean. Real clean.
Kawhi's clean. He's got that claw.
Kawhi's on the way.
Talk Raptors and Sixers next.